It is exactly 20 hours, 27 minutes and 16 seconds, 14 seconds, 13 seconds, 12 seconds, until I go to America, i.e. Disneyland, i.e. the greatest place on earth. So it's about time that we did a little mini cut to tidy things up a little bit. So we'll start from the beginning. This morning I decided to cycle. I picked up a bit of an injury last week when I was running, which is pulled on my Achilles a little bit. So if you're in the same boat, if you like running, you picked up a little niggle, jump on the bike is a great way just to keep up and keep building your aerobic base and stay active without putting any undue pressure on the injury. Now I thought I'd give a little physique update as well. My legs always tend to stay pretty lean. I've got a crazy pump here after being on the bike for an hour. But I think it's important to note that you can look super lean or way bigger when the camera's right, when the lighting's down and you've got a big pump on. My composition, I tend to hold a lot of body fat through my lower back, and I'm not looking to get mega diced for this tidy up cutting period. I just want to perform a bit better, feel a bit more comfortable and be more energized. So what I want to do now is explain why this is a tidy up and not so much a cut, and sort of why we're not really going to be tracking calories or cutting calories, but we are. As I mentioned at the start of the video, I'm doing this essentially because I'm going on holiday. I want to do a bit of a tidy up, but also equally it's from a performance. Sometimes when I'm running at the moment, I just feel heavy, sluggish, weighty. My arse feels massive. Is my arse massive, babe? Thank you. But equally, this is going to be a task in itself because I've not tried cutting weight while still trying to run and then preparing for the marathon later in the year. Because what a lot of runners tend to do is they don't eat enough. So it's going to be that balance for me where I'm getting enough food for performance, my running, my lifting, recovering, but then also put myself in enough deficit so that I'm still able to lose body fat. I've also not weighed myself for pretty much a year now. It's just something that I've not needed to do. I don't need to know what I've weighed, but for this cut, I'm going to. So at the moment, we've got no scales. I'm going to pop down to Asda, or where's probably the cheapest place you can buy scales? Asda. Did I just say Asda? We're going to pop to Asda and get some scales. I'm going to weigh myself tomorrow, because the best time to weigh yourself is before you've been for a piss, shit, eat, drink, whatever. Just that normal morning body weight. But this is where the cut's going to get a little bit weird because I'm not actually counting calories or cutting calories. Let me just show you. This cut is going to be based on habit building. So, what do you mean by habit building? Well, a lot of people tend to allow bad habits to creep into the diet. Snacking, overeating, calorie-rich foods, and this is where the habit building part is going to be important because, as I mentioned, I'm not actually counting calories, and when I say that, like I've tracked and counted calories for years, so I'm very, very good at guesstimating where foods are at. So I know I'm going to be roughly 2,800 to 3,000 calories. But even me, I'm one of those people who gets really nourished and bored and will dip into cupboards and eat stuff and pick on stuff and bite stuff and put it back in the cupboard and dip into the freezer late at night before I go to bed. And even I'm guilty of these bad habits, so quite often I'll So habit number one is actually a bad habit that we're trying to break, and often what we want to try and do is replace a habit with another habit. So habit one is a bad habit. It's one that we want to try and get away from by making it as difficult and as invisible as possible. So this is what I'm going to be doing with this habit, because often it just comes down to boredom and not having much to do. So I'm going to try and keep myself more busy in the day, especially when I'm working from home, because I just added up like all these little things that I usually snack on the day. This is the total amount of calories that those little picky bits, the chomp here and there, the bite that I put back, that never really come into this calorie circumference, or what I've usually added up on MyFitnessPal, because if it isn't tracked, it doesn't exist in my mind. You know that Trump episode got taken down? It had 5 million views straight away and it got taken down. Insane, isn't it? The power of the podcast, ladies and gentlemen. The power of the podcast. On that note as well, we've just actually put an episode up this week, which is all about balancing lifting and running. How to balance lifting and running, Not So Fit Club podcast. I'll link that podcast in the description below if you want to go and check out this week. Habit number 3 is nighttime eating. This is something that I struggled with ever since I had NES, was a nighttime eating syndrome, but it's more just snacking before bed, because no one's going balls deep into the fridge and freeze getting Ben and Jerry's at 7 in the morning, are they? It's always late in the evening. So, again, we don't eliminate bad habits, we replace them. So I'll still have something to eat later on at night, which will keep me fulfilled, satisfied. And these little bad boys, the waffles with some Greek yogurt and peanut butter, are literally around 300 or 400 calories, keep me full, stop me from snacking at night. And taste insane. So we're back where we started. I've been so ill for the last 3 days, I literally haven't moved from here. Like, there is my step count from yesterday. 1,675 steps in total, a massive 153 calories burn. And this is where advice or habit number 3.5 comes in, to not be addicted to yourself, essentially, because everyone's going to get ill. You've got to accept it sometimes and move on from it, and not try and fall through it and make yourself worse. Because I feel like what a lot of people do when they're ill is they put more stress on their body by stressing out, going to the gym, trying to lift, do activity when it's trying to recover, doing the complete opposite of what it needs to do. So taking a couple of days to chill. I'm sure my weight's probably gone through the floor at the moment because I've hardly had anything the last few days. But the first thing that we're going to do is to walk in. So I'm just going to get some steps back up this evening, because obviously been really slack at the moment. And one of the things of why I want to try and keep my steps up is because it helps keep my knee up, which is one of the easiest ways for us to expend energy and calories. And this is why I sometimes spoke about running being a shit means for weight loss. It's just because we're balancing stimulus versus fatigue. So essentially running's quite high fatigue, and when we're looking at weight loss, you want to be able to do a movement or an exercise which is going to expend energy or calories on a regular basis. So I like to keep running for aerobic stuff, and also not turn it into like a hamster wheel activity, so I can continue to enjoy it without almost demonizing it. Weekend food choices. So this is where a lot of people tend to just balls up, because in a normal everyday world, working 9 to 5 and then that escapism being your Saturday and Sunday, it's where most people will stick to like 2,000 calories whatever through the week, and then get to the weekend and consume like 10,000. So one of the best things to do, and one of the things that I'm going to be doing on a weekend, because usually Saturdays and Sundays have been quite lax for me because I've not needed to tighten them up. Over the Saturdays and Sundays now, I will be a little bit tighter, however still be having more food on a Sunday due to doing the longer runs. But my advice is where most people fuck it up. It's still nice to be social and be able to intuitively, but make the best decisions that you can at the time if you're looking to lose weight. So for me, this weekend being away in London, I'll still lift. I'll still probably get a run in. Instead of booking somewhere greasy, horrible and cheesy to go, we're just going to have a Nando's tomorrow.
Here we are with the Nando's order.
And that way I can still kind of control calories a little bit, still go out and be social, and still enjoy some flexibility on the weekend. Just because the weekend doesn't mean that you have to go into full fuck it mode, but you don't have to be a hermit. Update, we're going to mobility class. So we're going to go for a quick 15k this morning. One of the things that we'll still be doing on weekends, and something that I haven't spoke about too much during this video is training wise. I'm just still sticking to the same split. Not that adding any extra cardio, and just like I said in the previous habit, I'm just trying to increase steps. So one of the things that we will still be doing for this day is trying to get the steps in around London. We're going for a cheeky...
Well shorter than usual.
15k. Yeah. But this is my first run back since I did my Achilles injury, so I haven't actually run for 2 weeks. I've just been doing bike, as I showed at the start of the video, just to allow this to heal up. So I'm going to quickly stretch a little bit and then see how the Achilles pans out around London. Absolutely beautiful morning in London. I'm just crossing the Tower Bridge at the moment. It's 1k in. So far, so good with the Achilles. Oh. Back from the run, we did 16.56k. Time to find food.
Sausages, toast bacon, hash browns, avocado, mushrooms, egg, beans.
So we weighed in at 202 this morning, which I was kind of surprised about. It's probably one of the heavier I've been, but I'm still like lean-ish at the moment. An ideal weight, but we're not picking targets for this by the time I go away. Is that probably a good weight for me is like 195 because I feel better while I'm running. I feel better in myself. I feel more energetic when I'm at that weight for running. And again, this mini cut tidy up is all about not cutting calories but changing habits. So things don't slide under the radar, such as those snacky bits. And again, you might not have to change food. It's about when you become lazy, those things that creep in. Nothing's going to be changed with training, so we're doing 4 to 5 weight sessions per week. I know I said before, I'll probably do 3 runs per week. I'm probably looking at 2 runs and a bike. I'm going to be setting up my kicker and my bike at the moment, just still got the plans to do a duathlon. We'll try a couple of these habits, let me know what you think. Drop any comments or questions in the comment box. I'll catch you next one.
Gun finna jump for this shit outside.